Hi, I'm Amy Oshbaker, and I'm going to tell a story of many stories. I wanted to be on Broadway my entire life, and I was a pest. I'd nag people about it and whine and really, really want it. And I had a playwright or friend who said, the best way to get yourself on Broadway, just write a show and put yourself in it. But I never did that because I was too busy wanting to be equity and live my entire life. So I was a senior in high school, and I was having my Passover Seder. And the second night of the Passover Seder, it was not because of too much matzah. My stomach randomly exploded. All I remember is being in a lot of pain. And apparently, when they took me to the operating room, my stomach burst the top of it. It was a blood clot. My lungs collapsed. I needed 122 units of blood. And that's all I remember. Besides having very surreal, kind of freaky dreams for 6 months. Then I woke up and the doctors told me that I didn't have a stomach anymore. I couldn't eat or drink, and they didn't know when or if I'd be ever able to again. So it was a little shocking. I had to step back and figure out what had just happened for all of this. So just before my stomach exploded, I also had a really big secret I was keeping. I had a voice teacher that I trained with since I was 15, and he started molesting me very gradually and then very intensely for a period of over 6 months. I didn't know what to do with that, so I kept that secret inside for a really long time until I just couldn't take it anymore. It literally felt like it was eating away at me. So I finally told my mom, still not even believing that it happened. And, she was shocked, and we were going to go to therapy, resolve all this. And then 2 weeks later, my stomach exploded. So much for putting off plans. So I woke up from the coma, and not only was I trying to figure out why I had all these bags on me and was in the world of the ICU, which I didn't even know what it was, but also, was my voice teacher just grooming me for 2 years? Um, so, so anyway, there was a lot to heal from. So I went over 3.5 years without eating or drinking anything. And my mentality was, I've always been a productive person. I've always been ambitious. You know, I needed to feel vital. I needed to feel like I was doing something. So for me, being depressed and upset about my situation was just a waste of time. I didn't want to just let time pass and the world keep moving and moving in a hospital bed. So my way of staying vital was by channeling what I had always been passionate about my entire life. Creativity, being my place in the world, how I can connect with other people. So I just created like crazy. I was so obsessed with food that I started a chocolate business just so I had an excuse to go grocery shopping. Um, the day I got out of the hospital, I found auditions for Oliver, and I auditioned, yellow from IVs and not able to eat or drink with tubes and IVs, and I got the lead role of Nancy and Oliver. I taught nursery school. I learned karate. I did more than I've done in those years than I did in my entire life. Because believe me, when you have been read your last life rights, um, you wake up and you feel like you're discovering the world for the first time. And I remember being outside for the first time and taking my breath of fresh air, the very first breath I had taken, and it felt like, wow, what is this world? Hello. So, it was a terrible thing that happened, but it made me appreciate things so much more. So, long story short, it took 27 surgeries, one of them being a big 19-hour surgery and a lot more marathon surgeries to finally put together a digestive system with the parts I had left. But it wasn't an easy road. I had this fantasy that the day I could eat, everything would be, I'd be all healed and perfect, and life would just be back to how it was. And what I learned throughout this almost decade, as of this April, is that you can't go back to the way it was. And finding my way out of this was very tricky. All of a sudden, I went from high school seniors, just getting my college acceptance letters, to being displaced out of my old life. The day we moved out of the hospital, we moved into a brand new house. I never saw that house again. I never saw my grandparents again because they passed away when I was in a coma. It was an entirely new world where it was uncharted territory. Suddenly, I didn't know the rules of the game. I was subject to, the world of medical mysteries. There was no diagnosis for what I had. No one knew if I could eat or drink again. I was written up in medicine journals as a surgical disaster. So it was very scary finding my way. I remember Googling, like, how do I find Amy on the computer? How do you find yourself after all of this? And how do I make peace with the fact that I was just molested by someone who claimed to be my godfather right before he got sick? So there was a lot to put together, and a lot that I wasn't able to face because when you can't eat, it's very hard to get in touch with your emotions. Um, so finally I could eat, and everything came flooding back, the good and the bad. But what I learned is that life is the good and the bad, and because of what I went through, I met so many new people. I've learned so many new things about myself and about the world and about the potential of the human spirit. I ended up gathering together all of my journal writings that I'd written to cope with all this and putting together a one-woman show after being on the Today Show and seeing how my story had inspired so many people. And that was the biggest reward of my life. It was myself on the stage, raw, coming to the world for the first time in years in a medium that I was passionate about. And, they say things happen for a reason, but you gotta make things happen for a reason. And by doing my show, my playwright mentor was right, I put myself in it and I got myself out there, and I had the most valuable lesson in the world, that I realized what my role is. As a performer, you just want to connect with other people. And now I know my role in life is to still be that same performer I always wanted to be when I was 13, but now with this much greater gift to share, which is a story to tell. So that's my story, and I hope to be a part of your event and share my story. So thanks for listening.